Hey guys, this is Christian Bolton. This is my industry topic that I chose to do. I did it on an article from the Insurance Journal by Seth Borenstein. It's called Riskiest Counties for Natural Disasters Are Not Always Where People Think. So basically, the article went over FEMA's National Risk Index, which they just came out with for this year. And it calculates the risk for every U.S. county for several different natural disasters. These include all the ones you'd think of: hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, then some ones that may surprise you, like tsunamis and volcanoes. Um, so, like, some of these counties make sense for certain disasters. You think of wildfires, the most common county for wildfires, and the one that's riskiest is Riverside, California, up there in Northern California. Then there's Miami, which was the riskiest for hurricanes, and Honolulu. They were the riskiest for tsunamis. But what's interesting about this index is it's calculated in a manner that may seem contrary to how people think. This index it takes into account the frequency of the disasters, which is what you'd assume it would do, but it also does how many people and what type of property are in these counties that are affected, as well as how vulnerable this population is in regards how they could bounce back from these disasters when they occur. Um, an example of this would be a county like Philadelphia County in Pennsylvania. The index had them as a riskier county for tornado strikes than Oklahoma County, which gets twice as many tornadoes annually. Um, they do this because in a county like Philadelphia, it has such a low frequency but such a high loss potential with all their high property exposure and a population that's less used to these types of disasters. These may seem like a once in a lifetime disaster for them. That they are not going to be prepared for when a tornado does strike them. So this means that even a rare small tornado in a county like Philadelphia, this would cause way more significant losses than uh, these more frequent larger tornadoes that could occur in Oklahoma. You could see this again with a population in New York City. If they were compared to one in Wichita, Kansas, New York City has much higher property values and a population that has never had to deal with the aftermath of a tornado. And because of this, these counties in New York City are also considered more risky than those in Wichita. We had risk perception in the population being a large indicator of this index. Like I said earlier, a lot of these riskier counties have a population that may seem these types of natural disasters once in a lifetime and just aren't really prepared for the aftermath of what happens. We see this a lot in flood insurance. According to FEMA, only 3%, 3 to 4% of the population has federal flood insurance, when it's believed that roughly one third of the population actually needs this. We also saw that wealth played a big indicator in these indexes. A lot of the poorer populations in certain cities, like the Bronx in New York, some of the poorer areas in Miami County, uh, these neighborhoods in St. Louis that have a poorer population, uh, they're gonna struggle more with these catastrophic events than counties that have a wealthier population and may have the funding to deal with the aftermath. That being said, these counties that I just named, the Bronx in New York, Miami, St. Louis, these were all in the top 10 of the riskiest counties in the U.S., while the least risky county in the U.S. was found to be Loudoun County, the suburb outside D.C., which is often considered one of the wealthiest counties in the United States. Another index that FEMA used was, or I guess didn't use, is they didn't take into account climate change when they were making these metrics. in any of the natural disasters other than flooding. So they did take it into account for flooding. But because of this, some of the data might be a little skewed, especially as these catastrophic events become more frequent and start to occur in areas where they haven't happened, like maybe ever. Uh, Try to think of Superstorm Sandy in the Northeast. No one in New York, New Jersey, they were prepared for a storm of that magnitude to occur. And I think as climate change continues, we're going to see that events like this become more and more common. Um, I'll end this write up with a question to incite some good answers. As a risk manager or an insurance agent, how should companies and individuals in these higher risk counties diversify their risk to avoid paying out for these huge losses that occur after these once in a lifetime events? All right, thanks, guys.